Prepare for extermination!
On the battlefield, and in technological advancement, the Constructicons are Megatron's latest resource. With the precision of a fine jeweler, Hook performs his job with unequaled skill, whether he's reconnecting a damaged microchip or setting a 2-ton girder into place. Snobbish, supercilious, and an unpopular perfectionist, Hook can lift up to 20 tons. Scrapper is a wizard at designing fortresses and energy plants, but modest. He shows his true malevolent genius by incorporating defeated Autobots into his building structures. Scrapper's shovel can slice through 12-inch thick carbon steel and lift up to 30 tons. Scavenger desperately tries to prove his worth to comrades by trying to find things of value, whether by digging up hillsides or a backyard. Scavenger is only tolerated by Megatron because of his ability to use his shovel's magnetic, ionic, electronic, and gas sensors to detect the presence of fuels, metals, and other precious resources. Nothing is safe from Mixmaster, because he will use anything from unliving rock to living robot in the making of new materials. He uses acids and bonding agents to reduce and recombine almost anything inside his mixing drum. Mixmaster is a chemistry lab on wheels. Longhaul is unhappy with his unglamorous role, but understands its importance. He helps to build the Decepticons' massive energy recovery installations. In vehicle mode, he can carry 90 tons for 1,200 miles, and uses a dual heat-seeking missile mount. However, Longhaul can easily be goaded into a fight in which he's clearly overmatched. Bone Crusher's idea of a beautiful landscape is a rubble-strewn wasteland of his own making. His wild ways create fear and terror. In robot mode, Bone Crusher wields a laser pistol. In vehicle mode, at 30 miles per hour, his shovel exerts 800,000 psi, and he has a short-range concussion bomb launcher. Together, these 6 Constructicons combine to form the awesome and terrifying monstrosity known as Devastator. Spoiler alert. That would become known as the Constructicons originated in the Japanese Diaclone line and were known as the Construction Robo. They were imported by Hasbro in 1985 to join the Transformers in its second wave of figures. Despite being the only Decepticons that appear in all 4 seasons of the original cartoon, as well as the animated movie, the Constructicons' origin is one of the greatest continuity errors of all G1 canon. As they are first introduced in Season 1, Megatron explains that they were built on Earth. However, in Season 2, they are seen in a flashback as good bots who became reprogrammed by Megatron himself on Cybertron, made to turn against their friend, Omega Supreme. And then, to only be seen again in Season 3, actually creating Megatron further in the past. So how does all that work? Also, eagle-eyed viewers would have noted that there were 8 Constructicons present at this event, instead of just 6. The Constructicons were briefly and sporadically featured in Marvel Comics, depicted as having been created by Shockwave on Earth when he needed to establish contact back home on Cybertron. After the original set of Constructicons were discontinued, Devastator was re-released as a non-transforming Action Master, and later, the team would be given several re-releases as well, in bright new color schemes, including with Generation 2. It should go without saying, of course, that I prefer the classic green on purple look. Devastator is awesome and terrifying. A bizarre combination of 6 Constructicons: Scrapper, Scavenger, Bone Crusher, Hook, Long Haul, and Mixmaster. His mind is a melding together of his 6 parts, but limited by their competing thoughts. With enormous height and incredible strength, Devastator can knock down a bridge with one punch. He possesses a 10,000 degree Celsius solar energy beam rifle. Devastator is slow, awkward, and not too bright. The Constructicon singularity known as Devastator is what is referred to as a combiner, which, according to fans, can refer to a lot of things. A combiner is the culmination of several beings coming together to create a new larger bot, or a new vehicle mode, or even in many cases, a major power-up for battle. From Duocons to Headmasters, from Overlord to Skylinks to even Reflector, the list of combiner combinations and functions goes on and on. Of course, the most common combiner combination is what's referred to as the Scramble City style combiner. Named after an obscure G1 episode titled Scramble City, set between the end of Season 2 and the movie in 1986. This episode was never aired in the United States. Scramble City combiners consist of a team of 5, the leader of the team being the largest, forms the body as well as the head, as the other create the appendages. With universal joint sockets, all these bots as toys were interchangeable, good or evil. Combiners seen in the original series include the evil Decepticon cars known as the Stunticons, who would form Menasor, heroic aerial bots who would form Superion, the evil Combaticons who would become Bruticus, and the noble Protectobots who form Defensor. And then in Season 3 we meet the brilliant Technobots and the horrific Terracons, who form Computron and Abominus respectively. I didn't mention the Predacons who become Predaking, because like Devastator, they technically have 6 bots on their team. There are other G1 combiner toys, and even newer versions of classic Dinobots who form a character called Volcanicus, which is now becoming a standard. Like the Dinobots and Insecticons before them, there's still plenty left to be said about the other Constructicons and versions of Devastator. Don't worry, I haven't forgot about the fact that Michael Bay decided to give him a giant set of robot balls. And now, back to your favorite children's cartoon.
Right. Anyways, in an unexpected twist, I thought I'd show you some video content concerning Generation 1 Transformers. Enjoy.
With the late G1 release of Devastator's non-transforming Action Master figure, UK Marvel Comics published an exclusive story in which the Constructicons attempt to recreate Devastator as an individual, singular being. Future variations of Constructicons and Devastator within G1 as well as beyond did not stop there. 2004's Transformers Energon featured a Decepticon construction team, with members such as Steamhammer, Duststorm, Wideload, Sledgehammer, and Bone Crusher. Together, they formed Constructicon Maximus, the singular intelligence that controlled them all. 2008's Transformers Animated next gave us Constructicon vehicles brought to life by fragments of the Allspark, first Mixmaster and Scrapper, and they would later team up with Dirt Boss. Unfortunately, the never-produced 4th season would have shown the trio becoming Devastator, not to mention all sorts of other cool stuff we missed out on. 2009's Revenge of the Fallen delivered an eyesore monstrosity also known as Devastator, featuring team members such as Demolisher, Rampage, Hightower, Overload, Long Haul, Mixmaster, Skipjack, Scrap Metal. There's no consistent list that I can find. I think they care about as much as I do. Anyways, if you rewatch the movie, count how many times Constructicons you see get killed either before they become Devastator, or when they cut away to them as a singular being as Devastator is fighting on the Great Pyramid of Giza. Also, Robo-Balls. This Devastator is a featured centerpiece of the Universal Studios Transformers ride, as thrilling and nightmarish as sitting through the movie itself. As the Constructicons were revisited in the new comics from the early 2000s on, new members have come and gone from the team, such as Load Hauler, Scoop, as well as Gravedigger, an unused name assigned to one of the original Constructicons, now younger brother to Bone Crusher. Devastator and G1 Constructicons are a featured boss in the Transformers Devastation video game, one that I like to start up from the beginning every so often myself. The weirdest and darkest Devastator story comes in IDW Comics when Constructicon Hook is captured and killed by Spike Witwicky. Autobot Prowl is then captured and forced to become the head of Devastator against his will. Things only get stranger as Prowl's influence makes the Constructicons all want to become Autobots. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and if you like these clips you can see them in their entirety in my full episodes of Leo Watches Transformers. I have episodes for all of Season 1, and plenty for Season 2, with more coming in the new year. Please like, share, and subscribe.